जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ ಚೆನ್ನೈ
एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो.
Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. My name is Saiyami Kher. You know, I used to study in St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. So to make it for my 8 a.m. lecture, it was crucial for me to get the 7:19 local train. If I missed it, then I had to, beg and plead to my professor to let me in. Today's game is like that 7:19 local for Mumbai and Lucknow because they can make it to the playoffs, but they want their faith in their own hand. To discuss this game and much more about, cricket is one thing, but haircuts, food, politics, weather, everything else. I have Lisa Sthalekar and Pommie Mbangwa with me. Welcome. After your nice little break yesterday, you all feel fresh and you all are looking like you are raring to go today. As Pommie decided not to laugh.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Serious, but I'm ready to go. And I love your little stories at the start. I was like, well, where are we going with this little story from her?
Yeah.
She's
Pommie,
just
is
like you.
Is this the new you?
I don't think there's a new me.
Because, Lisa, did you see
There's
that video which broke the internet?
Which video?
That video.
What did I do now?
Hey, younglings, look at me. Dude, laugh.
What have I done now? I haven't done anything.
I agree with you, Pommie.
Leave me alone, I say. I've not done a thing. Anyhow, yes. 7:19. Yes, correct. It's important they catch that train because if they don't catch that
Bus,
train,
it's a bus.
is it a bus?
Oh, it is a train.
It was a train. That's what was said. Nah, maybe we should go with younglings. Listen carefully. How about that?
Let's go to the point, shall we?
Yeah.
This is the reason for the 7:19, correct? Yeah. Have a look here. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Actually, you'd even go to the table before that game. I was looking at things yesterday. I was supposed to have a day off, but I couldn't. I was drawn to the table, so to speak. Anyhow, I was drawn to the table because it's been such a fantastic table. The tournament, the IPL this year, you cannot say who's going to win it. You can't do that.
But with Gujarat and Chennai, they are pretty much through. It's now for number 2 and 3. Can we say that?
Look.
I think we can.
We can say it.
He won't say it.
But it doesn't mean that's what's going to happen because anything can happen. Can we put it up again? I tell you think I'm just like making this up, but I'm not. Okay, so Chennai, 15. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Let's look at that and say Chennai don't win another game. That's one game they've got to play. What that means, okay? And let's look at Lucknow and say Lucknow wins. They get 15 and maybe they win 2, right? So they get 15 and 17. And let's look at Mumbai and say they win 1 game because they got 2 left. So now you got 18, 17, and 16 and 2 and 15 who's kind of struggling over there, right? Then you got Bangalore. But of course, there are all these who play each other. Yeah, there are all these who play each other, so some kind of cancel out and all the rest. But it's fascinating.
But there's a possibility if Mumbai win both, then they go to 18 with Gujarat as well.
Look at this.
That's the only mathematics I understood from my crash course yesterday that Mr. Harsha Bogle gave me because otherwise it was just too...
You tuned out after that.
Yeah, I totally... I said, okay, that's one thing I learned, that's it.
There's also the the wishes were horses and all the rest, right? Where people look at that and then they go, my team is X.
Yeah.
And
How are
therefore,
they gonna
if
get in?
this goes like this, and they forget about the rest of the table. So, yeah, but point being, it's been absolutely fascinating. And I reckon comfortably it's been the best one yet. As far as results go, I mean, the scores have been higher. And I know that's not necessarily an indicator, but there have been some, despite sometimes you'd say less than good cricket that has happened, I'd still say for excitement, for drama, for everyone still being in it for the longest time, it's kept everybody glued, and it's been the best one.
It has been, and we're in the last week of the league stage. We'll have a look at who's going to play who next, because that will also kind of help us understand what Professor Pommie Mbangwa was telling us about.
Professor, goodness gracious.
I think the main thing here, you can kind of look at all of those games and you've got to kind of almost put it side by side to the ladder. But I can guarantee you, come match 70, we'll still be expecting Bangalore and Gujarat a result to play the final piece of the puzzle for those final 4 positions. But I said the last time I was here, going to Dharamshala and playing those 2 games there, that is an absolute gamble. And it's up to anyone really to play in such unique conditions up there. But I agree with Pommie. I mean, I haven't been involved as much as Pommie has right from the start, but since my time, since 2015, this has been the closest IPL that I've experienced.
Well,
Has anyone sort of factored in rain? Sorry, I just, just throw
Don't throw the banner in the roadworks.
because it was that rain which caused that 1 point in the Chennai Lucknow
It was here,
game.
Lucknow, yeah.
So, never know what can happen. We know one thing, that Mumbai has won the toss and they've decided to bowl first. So that's one thing that we know for sure. We don't know if it's going to rain, if it's not. There are these 2 gentlemen in both the teams. The new 2.0 age, no barrier, we've spoken about them enough of times, but it's not enough because they keep coming out in every game and performing very well. First, to start with, the young man, Amit Mishra, because he's somebody who we saw the other day, we spoke about it in the green room, he's bowling beautifully, and even though he doesn't love fielding too much, he does his job with the ball and gets out, and the numbers say it all.
Well, the impact player has helped him and all of these older players. I mean, the oldest player in the auction, both Piyush Chawla and Amit Mishra missed out in the mega auction last year, get picked up almost last picks, right, for this year. But boy, do they know what they're doing. And they've been able kind of to focus on just that one skill set, because the rules have kind of allowed them potentially just to go, I'm here to make an impact with the ball, and that's exactly what they've done. And it shows you that experience, especially when it comes to leg spin, the art of leg spin, the hardest skill, I think, in cricket, to be able to still play at a high level regardless of age.
Well, Amit Mishra today, there is that match up against Rohit Sharma because he's gotten him, I think, 7 times. So that match up will play up today. And also Amit Mishra made a really interesting comment which I'd read. I don't know when he said this, but he said that the difference between like a Ravi Bishnoi and him is that Ravi Bishnoi waits for batsmen to make mistakes, but Amit Mishra says, I make batsmen make mistake. So that's the difference probably between the young and the experienced.
Yeah, interesting call. I would assume, I mean, any bowler doesn't necessarily feel that way, so he might think so from an observation perspective. I mean, if I compare the two, you'd say one turns the ball conventionally as a leg spinner and bowls what is more classical leg spin, and that's Amit Mishra, and has done for the longest time. And then when you look at Ravi Bishnoi, it kind of just lets the ball slide on, doesn't he? And I remember, I think of him as an under-19 actually for India, and remember him sort of running in, and with that action that's over the perpendicular, you don't expect that the ball is going to turn away from any right-hander any amount unless he turns up on a pitch that actually does turn. So that's the deception, and the question was always, if that's what he's doing as he sort of climbs the ladder and gets to what is senior cricket proper, everyone's going to work out that it's coming into them and they're going to play him quite easily. But he's adjusted to that, and also the pace at which he bowls, the changes of pace that he goes with, I think allow him to kind of fox batters as well. So yeah, I think both are quite attacking. I would use the general statement, which I believe to be true. Leg spinners, all of them are gold dust in this format of the game. You could go with all formats of the game, but as we're talking just T20s, I think all of them are absolutely fantastic. And if you have one that's a decent one, you can use them and use them well, and they can do well for your side.
Just to add on that, I just looked up Ravi Bishnoi has only played one first-class game. So when Amit Mishra says he bowls batters out, it's because he's had to. He's played longer format cricket where you set batters up. there's a period of time, over after over after over, you keep bowling a certain delivery, you make a slight change in the field and then you bowl the ball that's going to get them. T20 cricket is about trying to be one step ahead of the batter and trying to ensure that you're not delivering the same type of thing to be able for them to kind of see you, measure you up and hit you out of the park. So I think that's also a difference that we're seeing. Those that have played more first class, even ODI cricket, you're still trying to get batters out. T20 cricket is minimise the damage. You are trying to pick up wickets, but you go about it slightly differently.
We'll have a look at the teams because I think there are a few changes there. If we can have a look at Mumbai's, Lucknow's team first. Okay, Lucknow's ready, so we'll go with Lucknow first. And they're batting first. This is their batting 11. Of course, Deepak Hooda. There will be that one sub. Wow, there's so many changes. Wow, I'm just trying to understand where do I start. So Kyle Mayers is out.
Is he not well or?
Yeah, considering his form, it has to be him not... But it's also probably trying to get Naveen Ulhaq in.
Yeah, maybe the thinking being that they can manage with one of the two up at the top. And whilst they preferred Mayers initially, they might have, later in the tournament, but there might be some sound thinking in that, later in the tournament, mind's tired and all the rest. Let's go with Quinton de Kock, who I suppose...
It's fresh.
Yeah, fresh, but also sort of has a point to prove, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I can't waste this opportunity. I've now got a chance, so I've got to make sure that I do well. Generally what they do is they power pack their batting, isn't it? But here they've kind of got to spread it a little bit because it's been tough playing in Lucknow, and you need batters further down there. And you also, you need to defend later on because... you might not necessarily get a great big score. That's certainly what's happening in the tournament. So, you need wicket takers, you need those who can defend later on. That's in case you don't quite get the runs that you want.
But Lisa, I have to ask you this.
Tell me.
We saw one name there, Deepak Hooda.
Yes, I know. So, Pommie, to
Have
give
you dropped him?
I dropped him a long time ago. Poor guy. Sorry, I'm very sorry. But I'm kind of trying to figure out why they've done it. And I think obviously because Kyle Mayers, they need someone to open because Munkad got them the runs, player of the match performance last time. They go, okay, we've got one Indian domestic batter that's doing well. We'll give him another opportunity because we need Naveen Ulhaq there because we're coming up against a Mumbai side that's, from a batting point of view, they're on fire. Their top order is absolutely on fire. And I don't think they're going to, maybe they will get 200 on this pitch, but I don't think so. But they still need their bowling depth. So in this circumstance, I understand balance that you've probably got to bring back Deepak Hooda, but I saw the name and I initially was like going to come in hard and then I was like, think why they've done it.
Well, you spoke about the Mumbai batters. We'll have a look at Mumbai's team. Like you said, they have a batting, they are bowling first, so they will get that extra batter in. Hrithik Shaukin comes in probably for the pitch in Lucknow where we see that it is and Akash Madwal also.
And the left-handers as well, off spin, taking the ball away. And he also started for Mumbai at the start of the tournament. I felt he actually did okay, but he bowled the really hard overs, like he bowled a number of them in the power play. This is the perfect conditions for him to show what he's absolutely capable of. So I hope he goes well because I think he's a good young kid. Very polite, very nice to chat to. I caught up with him at the Trident when we were swapping over with the WPL and the Mumbai guys coming in. So he was a nice guy that was certainly engrossed in the women's game, so I like him already.
But Tilak Verma misses out again. He was, he was not in the, I don't know if he's in the subs or he's not, but I don't think he's playing. He missed the last game as well.
Yeah, he did. It's unfortunate some of the time when a guy gets, what they say, a little injury. I think I remember doing the toss with Rohit in Chennai where he said, Tilak's not playing. He's injured. It's an injury replacement. Then the next game he didn't play and I think they said he was ill or something,
They said he's been ill for the last...
Yeah, so it's unfortunate. But in a setup where guys are doing well, when you get onto someone who's in decent form, I don't think you can waste that. And particularly when you get to this time in the tournament, where this is about sealing things and making sure that you get into the qualification spots. So you don't want to be making any changes unnecessarily. Any change you make has to be particularly considered. I would say, though, given the choice, personally, this is me, I would want Tilak Verma in my team if he's fit. Yeah. I would want him because this is pressure. These are pressure scenarios. This is a guy who's had a go not just this season, last season as well. He understands what's happening, and so, he would want to make sure that he makes an impact. And not that anyone else doesn't, but been around, yeah.
But there is Tilak Verma, another young gun who's done really well is Nehal Vadera. He's been extremely impressive with whatever he's done. His last game he got 15, but otherwise, if you see the numbers, the 40, 64, 52, he's been very impressive.
Yeah, and I've been wanting him to do well because his domestic season has been outstanding, and then didn't necessarily get a lot of opportunity or a lot of time out in the middle. It was almost like he was thrown in with a handful of balls left and away he goes. He takes, the team game on and tries to go big. But now he's had a bit more time out in the middle, and I think, he's shown everyone from a domestic point of view that he can actually mix it with the best at IPL. So he's certainly one that Mumbai, they like, that they've been able to see at a domestic level and go, he's going to kind of replenish our stocks from a batting point of view, and now he's actually giving back the runs that that they wanted from him.
The thing that they would have desperately wanted is that all these guys who are turning up wouldn't be all left-handers or all right-handers. It would be nice if you could engineer it, so to speak, so that you have a lefty and a righty, and they're young Indian batters, and they can be in the setup, and you've got options, right, depending on what's happening, who you're coming up against, and what they have in the way of personnel, whether they have strong off spinners or strong leg spinners. So you go whichever way you kind of need to. But hey, that's a problem of plenty, first world problem sort of scenario.
No, something about Nehal Vadera, I'm just like a sucker for stories like this. I really, really like. I read a story about him where his grandfather, Meg Vadera, has not missed a single game of his grandson, and he goes with this sweet little scorecard and he sits and writes.
He scores.
Yeah, he scores every game of his, and then they sit and then they read this and talk about this in the evening together. It's just really sweet when you have stories like this. And then the grandfather's also apparently told Nehal Vadera that he's old school, he's whatever, 85 plus. So he said that, I don't like you abusing on the field. You have to respect the ground. And so this is something that Nehal does. He says that my grandfather will be watching, so I don't abuse.
Do people abuse on the field?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, hold on. Maybe.
What about, can you tell him, can you also tell...
Maybe in the women's game.
Hey.
People abuse
Don't throw stones at glass houses.
I'm just asking a question.
Well, also, I hope grandfathers and grandmothers are saying, stop spitting on the field as well. Oh. That's another...
That's a pet peeve.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's going.
We'll go and find some kind of reels of you playing. If we catch one where you're expectorating, then there'd be a problem. Yeah, I'm going to search for that, actually. Yeah. Maybe
Good luck. It's in black and white anyway.
Yeah. Well, Mumbai batters, Nehal, Tilak have been very impressive. Hopefully they won't spit, because please, whoever watches Cricbuzz, they listen to us. So Lisa, I'm sure they're listening, and we'll see lesser spitting on the field now. But we should talk about the Lucknow batters as well, because they are, those teenagers who don't like to perform at home. When teenagers are at home and they're asked to do things, they just say no. So the batters here clearly don't like playing at home.
I'll tell you something about teenagers, because I have a couple myself, right? You take that lightly. When teenagers are at home, and mine are different, okay? Mine are very good teenagers, right?
Of course they are.
But when teenagers are at home, you would, hey, clean your room. Hey, put stuff away. Hey, whatever. Hey, come on, do the... Then they go and visit someone, you know, and they're gone for the weekend or whatever it is, and then they come back. And when you pick them up, you know, whoever they've gone to visit,
Oh, such a sweet.
they're such wonderful kids. Such manners, helped with everything. Like this. And every friend of mine says, you know, they go, my kids? You talking about my kids? I say, yeah, same kids. Well, there you go. That's, yeah. And I agree with you. It's a problem for Lucknow. It's a big problem for Lucknow because if they're to ensure that they take matters into their own hands, it has to be the turnaround today. It has to be. You can't afford those numbers in terms of batting, put a score on the board. The 1 point that they have, it was Badoni, wasn't it?
Yes.
Who played decently, and he played really well and showed that on that surface, despite the difficulty, you can score at a really good rate. So it wasn't a case of he just cobbled something together and got a half century and it was off 45 balls or whatever it is. And no, he played, it was a good innings at a good clip, which suggests there is a way and they've got to have figured it out. Otherwise, well, it could be good night nurse as well for them. Not just yet, but it could be.
I think you look at the two players that you want to do well in the Lucknow side, that's Stoinis and Puran. The pitch at Lucknow does not help their style of play. They are flat track bullies. They need it to be hard, flat, you know, so that they can stand and deliver. Doesn't matter what length, what line, they'll muscle the ball. Here at Lucknow, you've got to be a little bit smarter. I'm not saying they can't do it, but their style of play in T20 cricket has been the stand and deliver. That's why they do so well in other grounds, Chinnaswamy, Vankedi, all of those type of grounds.
Mohali,
Mohali, they played, I got a 250 at Mohali. Yeah.
So they've got to almost learn from Ayush Badoni. Okay, how did you do it? What did he do well? How can I just take a little bit of that and add it to what I do well? And if those two can accomplish the Lucknow pitch, then they'll go a long way to winning the game.
But I think today's pitch is a red soil pitch, which apparently means a little more bounce, a little more carry and stuff. So you can expect that.
We hope for
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah, we hope for it.
Red, yellow, pink.
Rainbow. We hope for it, but it kind of depends from where you begin, right? So if the standard is no bounce and the red pitch bounces a bit more, then you're still kind of left with low bounce, right? So I think that's the issue in essence. You turn up at that ground and just generally, doesn't matter which pitches they've played on, and they haven't played only on the black soil ones, they've played on the red soil. I remember turning up there and there was a red soil one that they'd left grass on, and that's earlier in the season, right? So now that we're at this part of the season, there'll be less grass because the tournament's gone on, there's heat and wear and tear, and so it's not so easy to leave grass on it. Therefore, it'll probably be more bare, and that means it's going to be even more difficult for the ground staff to make it as bouncy as they would like. And by bouncy, I'm being very liberal with that word, by the way. You know, that's what they're kind of looking for it to come on. But it was a bit patchy, actually, on the red soil one, and made it difficult for them to bat, stopped a little bit, tough to play shots. Hopefully, it's better than that. Whatever the bounce they get, however high or low, as long as it's consistent, I think that makes it better for the batters, and then they can work it out and get to what is a score that's acceptable to them for the conditions.
Well, our match referee at Cricbuzz, Gaurav Kapoor, gave it demerit points. And he said this is a rubbish pitch at Lucknow. But there's somebody who was not on that list because he was not in the team. That's Quinton de Kock for most of the games that they've played at home. So Quinton de Kock's going to be a factor that, of course, he's playing against his ex-team. He's somebody with Nicholas Puran, with Stoinis. He's somebody who would want to get a big one in today.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit more at stake, isn't there, for Quinton de Kock when you come up against your former side. And as Pommie said, he's got a point to prove as well. He's been sitting on the sidelines just watching things happen, especially at home. And no doubt, he's been going, okay, this is what I would do on this pitch. This is how I would tackle it. Now let's see. Let's see if he's able to, or his way is a good way on the Lucknow pitch. So I think he's going to have a big game for them.
He hasn't fired against Mumbai. He just hasn't since he's left them. And I think that will also be something that he'd want to do, because if you come up against your previous side and you don't ever really do well against them, it essentially justifies their letting you go. And you can't say it's justified. For Mumbai, it was very much a case of they just had so many players. Their champion team that they kind of kept together had so many players, it was impossible to keep them, right? And it's also not a surprise that all the other teams would want their players because they'd done, 5 titles. It's a whole lot. And Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma at the top of the order together were belligerent. They destroyed many a bowling lineup, right? So now he'd want to turn up there and be, okay, let me do something. Let me show you what you've let go. And if he can, it's to the benefit of Lucknow.
Well, Quinton de Kock's going to be up against the new, not so young, but new entrant into the MI team is Akash Madwal, because he was very impressive in the last game. 29 years old, he got into his cricket a little late, but clearly he is leaving an impact in the team.
Yeah, he is. And IPL is all about these type of stories of guys, young or a little bit older, that finally get their opportunity and they take it with both hands. Obviously being 29 years of age, I think tennis ball cricket is how he kind of came into the game. I think he's played for Uttarakhand, I think maybe. So not a lot of experience in that sense, not a huge domestic experience. But boy, he's probably watched enough, thought about it, dreamt about it, and then to actually go out and do it. I mean, it's a special moment. So he's now thinking, I've got to show him that it wasn't, a fluke. Yeah. I've got to make sure that I back it up because this is my one opportunity to potentially change my career.
Yeah, I remember him being used at the back end of a game, and I'm trying to think, can't remember which game it was, but only used for a couple of overs at the back end of the game to try and close it out, which says, they trust that he's able to bowl those Yorkers at the end. And then next game, able to bowl up at the front. And what he showed us at the back end, he can hit the Yorkers. And then he showed us in that next game that he can swing it out up at the front. So, yeah, good asset to have, good skills. Whether you can produce those skills under pressure is particularly important. And the pressure is on here. The fact that they've trusted him and they're going with him again is a good thing because their batting's power-packed. It's their bowling that they continually keep looking at and thinking, have we got enough? Can they defend? What can they do with the ball in hand? And that's going to be important.
So you spoke about him bowling in the death. Apparently Aditya Tare has spoken about how he is used to the pressure because of tennis ball cricket. He's used to the pressure of bowling in the death, and that's what he's done when he used to play tennis ball cricket. Something else I'd like to ask you all, because that's what I love about Cricbuzz, is I can ask my geeky question, is he spoke about because of tennis ball cricket, he gets to the ball dips when he bowls with a leather ball, which we saw in the other game the other day, that the ball was dipping, and he says this is because of tennis ball cricket. So I just couldn't understand why.
So, okay, first up, I suppose we've got to explain the fact that with tennis ball, and I don't know if over here they tape it up.
This wasn't a taped tennis ball.
Okay.
So usually, yeah.
So tennis ball, very light.
Yeah.
Right? And so to bowl it fast arm actions. And he also just ever so slightly slings it at the back end. And that's all about trying to get the ball to duck back. And if there is a scratch on it, it's hit the boundary, okay? Yeah, it hit something. Hit the pitches or something, yeah. And then so it's scuffed on the one side, so they try to get reversing. And all the teams try to get it, and a few of the guys do. You watch a Pati Rana who lets the ball go this way, and the ball doesn't really reverse. And every now and again, it doesn't quite come out this way and comes out this way, and it reverses and ducks in. All about aerodynamics, I guess. But yeah, when he's got it reversing, the ball's always going down, and questions whether it's going to go that way as well. So both those down and that way together make it particularly difficult for batters, and it happens really late as well. Yeah, fast arm action, and has a little bit of pace about him, and he can therefore bowl it at the back end. And with tennis ball in hand, that's what he has to do. It's all about prevention of runs, yes, but also being too quick for the guys to be able to whack it. So, yeah.
Well, that's what I love about Cricbuzz Live. I get answers to all my technical questions. I love that the most. There's something else that we do at Cricbuzz every day, and that's the joy factor question of the day, to which answers I never know, but I get the answers. Today's joy factor question of the day is Shane Warne, Dick Vela, Chetan Chauhan, Murray and Tim Southee are the first 5 names on which Test cricket records list?
Don't know. I don't know, actually. So look at that.
No idea.
No idea.
No idea. That's something that we always come out with. We have no idea.
Because it's such a different group of...
Yeah, so like keeper...
Must be from a batting point of view.
Well, it doesn't have to be, does it?
Well, I'm just... Fielding? Maybe in the field they did something.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? We'll
Someone
find out.
knows out there.
We'll find out. I'm sure all the neighbors
No
that
hundreds?
Joy Bhattacharya has
90.
have written in to us. But we need to do, well, we at least think we know what we're doing it. I don't. I only guess. But, well, our professors in the house know the prediction game very well. So, Lisa, please. Or I can go first. Either
Come
way.
on, you go first.
I can go
All
first.
right.
if
No,
you like.
no, let her go
I'll
first.
go first.
She's a little cheater, she is. She's a little cheater.
All right, I've been given the permission to
love
go
it.
first. I'm going to go ahead with Lucknow batting first with 149.
Yeah, that's interesting call. I'm going with 168.
I'm going to lowball it.
Ooh,
139.
Yeah.
wow. 139 to, you were 168.
168.
Wow.
139 to 168 and I was 149. So we're covering a lot of, lots of varied opinions there. We'll wait and watch. If somebody will get close to it for sure, we'll wait and watch and see who it is. Now it's time for us to go. Yes, watch the match, but order some food, which is a very important tradition at Cricbuzz. It's extremely important. We take it very seriously. So we'll be going out and doing that. Don't forget to join us at the 10 over point at the Cricbuzz Combox.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ ಚೆನ್ನೈ ತಿರುಚಿರಾಪಳ್ಳಿ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন